Hello, and welcome to the Total Mental Performance Podcast, the one and only mindset podcast dedicated to helping fitness entrepreneurs and coaches master their mindset, giving you insider access to industry leaders around their psychology, their campfire stories, and the mindset required to be successful in this business. I'm your host, Kieran O'Neill, mental performance coach and founder of Total Mental Performance, the world's fastest growing specialist mindset service dedicated to the fitness industry. So, without further ado, let's lean in and listen. Yes, team. Welcome to this week's Total Mental Performance podcast. Today we have Bryce Banfield. Bryce is a man that has evolved so much over the last 12 months. It's been absolutely inspiring and a great coach. He joined our Total Mental Performance Academy, which is for coaches that are ultimately looking to build structure, manage their overwhelm, and evolve their identity. And Bryce is a top guy. He's been really consistent. He's always in the master classes. He's always doing the homework. He's always taking everything away. He's got a real great growth mindset, which I can't wait to share with all of you. Bryce, mate, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem at all. I appreciate you inviting me.
For sure. So just to let everyone know, what is it that you do and what kind of clients do you coach?
Well, I and myself and my partner, we essentially coach people who have been in the position that we have been in. So we attract, speak to, and help people overcome a lot of confidence-based issues in their body, the way that they see themselves, whether they're not happy with the amount of body fat they're holding, whether they're not happy with, the fact that they want to gain more muscle mass. And that's not just confidence in their body and not just confidence in themselves, but confidence in the gym and that environment as well. So that's essentially where we sit and the people we try and hit, because I know that when I was, you go back sort of 6-7 years now, and for my partner as well, she was sort of 6-7 years as well. We kind of lacked that confidence. And I'm sure we'll tie this into sort of why I was in the academy, but that's kind of followed me through life. Essentially, we've both lacked that confidence. We've lacked it in the gym, lacked it in ourselves. We've not liked the way that we've looked. Been on holidays and not liked the pictures that we've seen. So yeah, we help people that are struggling with exactly that, and it's a massive. I can talk about it for ages, as you can probably tell. I'll go on about it and I won't stop talking. As people know, I talk a little bit too much, but we like helping people out of that slump, helping people who are demotivated, helping people who don't really know where to start, and helping them just essentially improve in multiple areas.
I do think a lot of coaches, we build programs for those younger selves. So like you said, 6 or 7 years ago, you didn't feel like you had the confidence in the gym and in your body that you have now. And that's really, really inspiring to see. How did you actually get into coaching?
We actually, I started out PTing years ago, quite a few years ago now. I was very, very young, and I was your standard PT, your standard personal trainer. You do PT sessions on the gym floor. You think everything fat loss related is HIIT sessions. You think everything muscle gaining is just pumping weights as much as possible. And I ended up working in gyms, working in load centers, working in gyms, working in head office for sort of a big gym brand for the UK. And essentially the big online thing started when myself and my partner got both made redundant. So yeah, we thought, do you know what? We've had enough of doing something where we felt a little bit limited, and we really wanted to go and make an impact. So it really was just a split decision. We went, right, we're going to do this. We're going to help as many people as possible. And it's just spiraled from there.
It's incredible. And there's a few coaches I've seen that sort of have a partner and they work in the same business. So I'm guessing there's a few dynamics going on there. How do you guys manage to separate your personal life and your professional life?
Well, I mean, we've actually spoken about this a little bit inside the academy, and do you know what? We are very much heads down, and we'll just get on with it. Like, you know what I'm like, other people have said it. We will just get on with it. So work to us is work. Client stuff is client stuff. So we could quite easily sit at our desks next to each other for a few hours and just get on with it, like both of us are in our own office space. And then something that, again, the academy and working with yourself has taught us is to take that downtime, take that time to yourself, whether that be on your own, because I know a lot of the guys and girls that are in the academy they're an individual in their business. So they're taking king days, queen days, that time to themselves to rest and recover, whereas we obviously take that time, but we try to take that time together as well, because as much as we think we can be 100% all the time, we know if we don't take that downtime, you're not going to maintain momentum in the longer term. You will burn out, you will lack energy, and you will struggle. And then ultimately, you're not going to give the energy and the concentration levels that you want to give and the service that you want to give to your clients, to the people that are trusting in you.
Absolutely. And run me through the Bryce that I met when we spoke right at the beginning, towards the beginning of the academy. I remember actually, I think you were in the very first one. So just run me through. Describe that guy. How was he?
I was the first. Do you know what? I was a little bit nervous to press the button and join, to be honest. I actually think I turned to Laura and I said to her, "Do you think I'm going to benefit from this?" And she's like, "Yes. I think this is what you need." And I think I actually got her to press the button for me to join. Being honest, I don't think you actually know that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I got. I'm pretty sure she actually. I said, "Can you do it? Can you do it?" And yeah, been in it ever since. So that was what 10 months ago, end of June, I think it was, start of July. And yeah, ended up obviously joining. And when I first started, I was, I lacked confidence. I would do some bits in front of the camera, not regularly. I didn't really like talking on video. There's just little things. We weren't necessarily operating as a business, which didn't really give us that confidence of longevity. So I know quite a few of the things that we've gone over, things like financing and leeway for a few months in advance, and there were certain aspects as well, not just from my own personal perspective, but from a client aspect. I've taken a lot from what we've learned in the academy and not just applied it to myself, but applied some of the techniques to clients as well. And I think I'd say that there's two main things I would say two main things. I'm sure we'll get onto more in a sec, but two main things that have been massive takeaways for me. And the first one was, before I came to you, I thought I had to work a hell of a lot of hours. I had to just constantly be at the desk working, doing all this time behind the laptop. Don't get me wrong, there's still periods of that, and we still do spend a lot of time working, but I know to take that downtime. And it's also, and again, we've had this conversation where I don't work, my head doesn't work in a normal working day. And I'm sure there'll be people listening to this going, yeah, well, I get to mid-afternoon and I crash. But I really did. And when I said it to you and I said, look, I work really well early in the morning, late at night. My brain starts working about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And you said, embrace it. And since then I've gone, actually, it's okay to take downtime at the times that I need to, as opposed to doing what I felt I had to do. And that was absolutely huge for me. I know that for a fact.
Well, those peak performance hours we talk about all the time, and anybody that's listening to this, here are some frames for you to pick up on. When is the best times of day to speak to people? When is the best time to write an essay? And when you said to me, in the afternoons, I crash. I can't really concentrate. I struggle to work. I remember you were beating yourself up a little bit about that. And I said, it's really simple. Just don't work at those times. And sometimes it is a really simple equation. For me, as I explain in the academy a lot, I work at really funny times. I don't do well in the morning. So 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. is my people time. Even right now, we're shooting this podcast at 9:15 at night. Then I have a little break between 10 p.m. and 12 p.m., 12 a.m., sorry. And then again, 12 a.m. to 2 a.m., my mind starts getting really creative. It starts coming up with ideas. So that's when I start building. That's when I start working on the business. That's when I start solving puzzles like the app that we've launched, or what needs to go into the app. What do these guys and girls need to pick up? What do they need to learn? How can they, within the first 30, 60, 90 days, get that structure, get that overwhelm? Because if you go by what school told you, or what your previous office job told you, or what the world tells you, or even your partner might have different working times or different energy times to you. You have to operate and accept who you are as an individual. And you have to really put that in yourself. Because otherwise, you're always going to be listening to the rest of the world and you're not listening to your own needs. And that's so important to be able to listen and identify, well, what do I need? What is it for me, you know?
It's exactly what I kind of went through is, you listen to exactly what you should be told, and you think, I have to do it that way. Why do you have to do it that way? Why is that way the only way you can do it? And if anything, more productive now than we ever were previously, working at the hours that we know. And if you have to put some hours in the afternoon, anyone out there, other online coaches, whoever it may be, sometimes there might be a time where you have to put that in. You have to kind of overcome that. But on the whole, on the majority, if you work in your peak performance hours, the hours that you feel most creative, and if you feel that you dip towards the middle of the week, don't necessarily work that day in the middle of the week. Take that to do some downtime priorities, and then work at the times that you're most creative. And you'll find that actually you probably work slightly less hours, but you might be more creative and more productive, and give a better service to the people, like I said earlier, that have bought into you and trust you, than be this person that's constantly on all the time and working at the times where maybe you're scrolling or something like that, and when you should be trying to be productive.
That's it. And when you start to learn to work within your rhythm, at your pace, at how you operate, it makes such a difference. And it's the analogy we use all the time. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Most people are building these businesses to actually live in these businesses, not to sell on these businesses. If you're going to sell on a business in 12 to 24 months, you build it and you operate in a completely different way. But if you're looking to build a lifestyle where you really enjoy your work, you really enjoy what you do, you have the personal time freedom and the financial freedom to do the things that you love, spend the time solving puzzles that you love, that makes such a huge difference. So that element of slowing down to speed up, it does directly correlate to productivity, to creativity. So I'm really glad that you've embodied that. You mentioned there was a few tools that you've been able to pass on to your clients, and I shout this all the time. I literally tell everyone in the academy, take our stuff, put it in your program, because this is the sort of stuff where if we look at client transformations, a lot of it's a mental game as well as the physical game. Of course, you can give them the training plan, the nutrition plan, but if they don't have those tools to manage their emotions, to manage their mindsets, and I'm guessing a lot of the stuff that you've picked up, you probably directly coach your clients when you see them having the same puzzles through that. So run me through some of the tools or the frames or the just learnings that you've taken that you've been able to help coach your clients with.
There's been quite a few, to be fair, and I think one of the main ones would be just something very, very simple, like doing a brain dump, like just dumping everything out. And I know everyone kind of has systems and stuff nowadays, so other coaches kind of listening to this, you can put it onto technology or whiteboards, as everyone owns nowadays. But in terms of clients, you say to them, look, all those negative emotions, whatever you're feeling at that time of negativity, and obviously you've discussed this in the webinars of sort of the lives of that borderline mental health and coaching, and the difference between the two. But something where someone is feeling just a little bit down, we all have bad days, and telling them actually just put everything out there, put everything onto some paper, just write it down, and then it's there, it's out of your head, it's clear. And actually understanding that everyone is going to get a bad day, everyone's going to get a down day. No one is 100% all the time. And unfortunately, like on Instagram, on social media, and I'll go on to something else in a second, you only see the best bits. You only see the 100%, and that affects not just coaches, entrepreneurs, businesses, but it affects people that you're coaching as well. So your clients, my clients, it affects everyone, and they see this perfect lifestyle and they're trying to emulate it, and they think it's perfect all of the time. And letting them know that actually it's just not. Like, that's not the case. Like, everyone goes through the tough times, everyone goes through some bad times, but it's how you react, and it's how you essentially react and overcome. Is probably the best thing I can say about that. And then going on to one of the other things was actually something that you said to me the other day. I think it was in the academy. It was to somebody, and it was, are you you said to ask people questions. Ask people this specific question. It was, would you do it if it wasn't for social media? Would you do it if it wasn't for social media? And that has actually helped quite a few people go, actually, I thought I wanted this specific look or this look on social media, when in reality, they just want to be more confident in themselves. They want to be happier in themselves. They want to be able to walk into the gym and just be more confident to lift, train, and exercise in a nice environment. But they think that they want this look. They think they want to post this thing on social media. And as soon as I say to them, would you want this specific look if it wasn't for social media? They're like, well, no, I'm actually quite happy just, losing a couple of kilos rather than this 5 to 10 that they think they need to lose to have this specific look. And it's something I actually asked myself about a certain, about a few things. And it's a very, very interesting thing. And that's stuck in my head. And I think you only said it about a week or two ago, but that's massively stuck in my head. Yeah.
I'm really glad. And this is quite cool because this is one of those moments where the student becomes the teacher. And you've been dedicated and you've been turning up, you've been putting in the hours, you've been doing the work. And hearing you now just sharing and playing back to me all of these different lessons is seriously exciting. That question, would you do it for social media? If nobody else could know about what you're about to do, if nobody else could know about what you're about to buy, if no one else could know about what it is that you're doing, would you still do it? And then the answer is no. Then it's not coming from that genuine place within you. It's probably coming from a place that's a little bit more insecure, that's trying to prove themselves, that's trying to show off. So that's an incredible example of coaching to the deeper why, because we can all coach to get those big body transformations, and I'm sure visually they look amazing, but actually if you can go that layer deeper with your clients and understand, well, do you really want that? Do you really need that? Or is it just an idea? Or is it just something to show off to others? And then you can just be honest, because then they're not going to have this moment where they get to where they thought would make them happy and then they're not happy. So then that then reflects on the coach and it reflects on the service. But if you can look at the brutal facts and you can look at the truth and go to that layer underneath the external world and go, well, if no one else in the external world can know about it, would you still do it? That is where the gold is. That is where you can create genuinely life-changing results versus a moment in front of a camera. Because as cool as that looks, that isn't necessarily the long-term change that you're going to make on a client's life. So I'm so happy to hear that you not only took that away, but you implemented it already with such speed.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really respect about you, Bryce. You've been able to take the tools, take the learnings, and actually execute on them, which is great.
100%. I think that's actually played a massive part in our coaching, probably the future of our coaching, because you kind of think to yourself, it is a lot of the people that we do take on board, that they want to achieve some sort of fat loss, but the extent of the fat loss and then looking at the future is there's a big disconnect. And I feel like in the industry at the moment, it's all about fat loss. You see all these results about fat loss, and that quote is actually, and the way you put it was a lot better than the way I put it, but the way you put it is how I remember it. And that has massively actually helped me shape and visualize where and who I specifically want to help and how I want to help them. And that is through actually the confidence side of things, the confidence in themselves, confidence in the gym, their strength, the way they're lifting, and obviously some aesthetic side as well, but not just going through a fat loss phase and that being it. Because I think there is a massive disconnect in the industry of coaches and people just going through a fat loss phase and that being it. They get to the end of their 12 weeks, they get to the end of their 16, whatever it is, they do the cut and great, you lean. Well, what did you achieve from that? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If someone's goal is to get super, super lean, they want to get shredded, brilliant. Like, we can do that. But finding that deeper why, finding that understanding behind it, finding that actually, for the most part, it's a confidence thing. It's I'm not happy in the clothes that I wear. I'm not happy that if I go on holiday, I'm not going to like the way that I look. Like, I don't want pictures to be taken of me. I don't want to have pictures with my children on holiday. That's the deeper meaning why. And that's the truth of it. And that's why we're kind of creating this more full process now of working on things like mindset, and obviously it's massively helped with the work I've done with yourself, and looking at aesthetics as well, but then also looking at performance, looking at strength training, looking at confidence, and that is taking up now what is a massive part of our coaching, alongside the aesthetic side, and not just having an aesthetic fat loss focus.
100%. And there's such a beauty in that because it becomes more meaningful. And sometimes you're going to get clients where they're going to say, yes, it's the abs that I want to get lean. I want to do the 12 weeks. And it's holding that space for them to achieve that. And for them sometimes to realize that's not the answer. And when you can do that, and then you can really speak to them, that's where even more life-changing results happen. Because sometimes you can see the mistake a client is about to make. And even if you tell them, they're still going to go and make it. So it's about holding that space for them to go and pick up that experience, pick up those learnings, and then pick up the pieces and go, right, okay, well, what we're going to do next. So that's incredible.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the confidence and the momentum that you've built, because I think we'll both agree that first Bryce, that first coming to the masterclasses, that was first there, I noticed that you're a bit more quiet, a bit more reserved, less likely to sort of drop and share into the chat. And believe it or not, I don't mean to spook any of our academy or our one-to-one clients, I do watch you guys' stories. I do watch your content, because whilst I can see you in the masterclasses, I'm also looking to see, well, how are they showing up? And in video content, in your stories, in even just the posts that you're writing, that is where confidence starts to really, really show. And you can really see that. You can always sense when somebody's trying to put it on, when somebody's not. So at the risk of sounding like a stalker for all of my clients, I do keep an eye on what you guys are up to. And what I've seen with you is this more balanced, settled, self-assured coach that's really, really evolved over the last few months. And it's been really incredible to see. What would you say the big differences that you felt from that version of Bryce 10 months ago to the Bryce that you are today?
I think the biggest thing was, and to be honest, you'll have to tell me if there was a certain webinar we did. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember you saying if you don't show up in all the ways that you can and you have available to you, then you're not showing up for people, and they're not going to see how you can potentially help them. They're not going to see you lead the way. And that was, I think it was a conversation we had over like messaging, actually, when we were talking about leading the way and what I could kind of do. Because I think before sort of joining the academy, it was, I was okay with videos. I was all right, but it was very one tone. It was like quite direct. It was like in and out. It was, and it wasn't something I did regularly on stories either. So I wasn't hopping on Instagram stories and just talking. And I think it kind of showed, like, just in my content and the way I was coming across. And I think the biggest difference is after we kind of said, do you know what, I need to lead the way a little bit and show people that actually confidence grows over time, which I think it has done massively. Like, I probably wouldn't have hopped on air. I probably
You
wouldn't have
definitely,
done
if I
this.
said, hey, do you want to jump on the podcast? I think you'd have said, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Kieran.
Yeah, precisely. So, yeah, now it's a case of, do you know what, actually, I believe a lot more in my coaching service. And don't get me wrong, I believed in it last year. Like, I believed in the results that I could achieve. But now it's just even more so. And I know I can take people from A to B and onwards. And I have a confidence in, the way I portray my information and value. I have confidence in myself, my service, my business. I have confidence in myself on camera, on video, talking, and just generally talking to people. And talking on video, I think, is one of the biggest things. Is we kind of said, you know what, that's something we got to get you doing, even if it's just just 60 seconds, just get on and start talking. And yeah, that's massively grown. And I think it was that, make sure you're turning up, because you expect clients to turn up, and I'm sure every coach expects clients to turn up and do obviously what's expected. We know it's not always that simple. It's not always that simple with jumping on video, but as a coach, you should be exploring all the avenues of putting across your value, putting across your information, putting across what you do, and showing people how you can help them and the value you can give them. And I wasn't really doing that, not how I am now, which is obviously a massive improvement and a massive confidence booster for myself. So,
And just play out how that's translated from a business perspective. How has that worked out in terms of client numbers, in terms of the way that you turn up, the way that you deliver coaching? Because obviously confidence is the key to so many doors.
yeah, 100%. So, I mean, actually progressing the service has probably been the biggest thing. I think in terms of client numbers, working with more people, we are probably, I mean, we're not too far off of what we would determine capacity, but what we determine capacity is what other people might not necessarily. And I think that is something about, just backtracking a sec, is something that is quite nice about the academy is we don't talk numbers, we don't talk amounts, we don't talk, how many clients you're working with, how many people you've taken on, how many people you've lost, and how much money you're earning, because it is irrelevant, because everyone is in a different position, everyone is in a different stage. And that, I think that's been nice as well, because it's nice to kind of be in that space of, we're all in it together, we're all coaches, and we're all trying to improve our service. There's the no talk of sort of the money side of things, no talk of clients. There's people with more clients, there's people with less clients than us. But in terms of the confidence side, it's sort of the resonating. People resonate with us a hell of a lot more now, because I can actually get across me, who I am, my story, where I've been, and I'm not afraid to show that. And that's what's helped in terms of the clients joining us, is the fact that actually people can start to understand who we are, who I am, and where I have been. And in that sense, how I can then help them, because I've been in the position that they're in. I've lacked the confidence. I've not liked my physique. I've not liked the pictures being taken of me. And now I'm confident in my ability to help people with that exact problem and get them out of that area. And yeah, in terms of progressing the service, last thing on this, in terms of progressing the service, like, we've done things like exercise breakdown videos on our site. We've got the website launched. We've got a members area all launched on there, where clients have videos of us talking, me talking, doing educational trainings to a camera on my own, doing exercise breakdowns where I've got Laura doing the exercise and I'm talking through it, because, like I said, a massive part of what we do is improving people's lifting. And we went and spent, an afternoon being recorded and talking through exercises, and that had to come from confidence. Wouldn't have done that before, because I would have been afraid, what if I stumble? What if I mess up? What if this, that? Whereas now it's just been, right, I want to improve my service. I want to give people as much as possible, as much as I can, to help them improve. And to do that, I need to go and do this. I need to go and do these exercise breakdowns. I need to do these educational trainings, because I'm going to give my clients so much more than maybe they even ever expected. And we always want to be that one step ahead, and to be that one step ahead and to give the best service that we can give, I've got to be confident in what I'm doing. And if I'm confident in what I'm doing, we create momentum, and I create momentum, and then the creative thinking starts coming out, and we do more and more for people.
It's incredible, mate. And it is about building that confidence, to build the momentum, which breeds more confidence, and brings more momentum, and it goes round and round and round, which is incredible.
Exactly.
You touched on a lovely point as well, which is, we don't talk about numbers in the academy. I make that as a rule, where we don't care how much you're making. We don't care how many clients you've got. We don't care how many clients you've lost. But I do think, by taking out the numbers and the financial aspect, and just recognizing that it's a really good community of coaches that are just trying to do their best. They're trying to help. The equivalent of, say, posting I've done X amount in revenue in your business mastermind is, I used to be really overwhelmed. I used to be scattered, but now that I have my structure, I have my overwhelmed playbook, I feel so much better, more confident, more balanced. That for us is miles more valuable than just generating cash. But the good news is, if you're somebody that's particularly financially driven, by having a better state of your mind, your mindset, of your emotions, and your balance, or your business will grow. You have the tools, but it's your mindset that stops you from picking up the tools and staying consistent. And I think you've done a really, really good job of that, Bryce.
100%. Yeah, appreciate that.
So forget me, forget the team, forget the organization, but what does the phrase total mental performance mean to Bryce? If you had total mental performance, how would you know?
For me, it would be the way I operate. So it would be, how do I operate? How, working times, am I structured? Am I energized at the times that I need to be energized? Do I have my working hours in place? Am I productive in those times? Can I separate work, training, and personal time? Can I separate those things and not necessarily have them as a massive blend, which we know can happen to a lot of people and has happened? That's kind of the main things, I think. Total mental performance would be, my brain operating in a way that I can control it as well, and not always be thinking about other things. So not always be thinking about work at times when I want to be having downtime, but having the energy, having the optimization within the times that I want to be operating my business.
Bryce, I absolutely love that, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can everybody find you?
Oh, a few places now. At Bryce Banfield on Instagram, and then we've got we're doing like some YouTube bits. So we're doing some YouTube stuff just with training, traveling, nutrition stuff. So it's a bit of a blend. Just to get a little bit of an insight into us and who we are. But yeah, at Bryce Banfield's the main place on Instagram.
Incredible. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody that's listening, please do drop us some feedback and some love on our Instagram page. If you click on there, you will be able to comment and leave some feedback. Do leave us a review and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Honestly, it makes a huge difference. Bryce, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Appreciate you. You've been an incredible client and you've been absolutely a superstar and you've been very consistent in the academy. So this is like a proud moment to bring you onto the podcast to share back some of those learnings back to the market as a leader in mindset and everything that you've picked up. So, mate, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.